Hello, welcome to Festive Tech Calendar 2020. I hope that you are enjoying this event and learning quite a lot. My name is Luis Beltran. I am a Microsoft MVP in AI and developer technologies. And today we are going to develop a puzzle mobile application using Xamarin technology. Let's get started. For this project, we are going to need an image, a picture. And we're going to split this picture in 16 blocks. To get some help, I use this website, choose a file, and split the image using the grid function. Then you have to select vertically and horizontally, so you can choose 4 blocks. So you will get 16 in total. And after that, I rename them using 0, 0 until 3, then next row, picture 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, second row, and so on. Now, let's start creating our application using Visual Studio 2019. We can create a new project of type mobile application Xamarin Forms. The name would be Christmas Puzzle. I will choose the blank template. After the project has been created, let's add a new folder, images, and place the 16 pieces of the picture. We also have to change the build action of all items in embedded resource. Now, let's work on the main page and also create a class. So let's add a class with the name puzzle tile. And we are adding the following code. This class is public, inherits from content view. So that means we need a reference to Xamarin Forms. There is a constructor which accepts a row, a column, and an image source. We also need 3 properties: row, column, and tag. Now back to our constructor. We initialize the row and column variables. Same goes for tag, which is a calculated property. Using row and column. Finally, let's set up some padding to separate each of the items, each of the tiles, with thickness 1, and the content of this element is an image. Whose source is the image source. So this represents, just a second, let's fix a small error, image source, yes, this parameter. This represents each of the tiles, each of the blocks that together make the image. Now, let's go to our main page. We can safely remove all the code that we have in the XAML and add our own. So for this, we are going to add a content page padding for all elements. Let's set it to thickness. Let's set the thickness to value of 10 for iOS to avoid some margin. Okay. Now let's go to our content view. Let's create a size event handler and set a margin of 10. Inside the content view, we are going to add a stack layout with name stack layout. Inside, we're going to create an absolute layout. With name absolute layout and background color black. Another element which is part of this content view is a button with text randomize. We set up the click event on randomize button clicked. Let's center it. So horizontal options, center and expand. The same goes for vertical and background color green, text color white, and corner radius of 10. And that will be the user interface for this page. We can now proceed to work on the code behind of this application. So here I have the code already, so no need to type everything because it's a lot, but I will add it in part and explain. So first, we need to know how many tiles are horizontally and vertically, and we know that we have 16, 4 per dimension. After that, we are going to declare an array of tiles. And of course, we are declaring 16 elements. The empty row will be the latest one, which is in position or index row 3, column 3. We also need a couple of properties. Tile size, because we want to distribute all the tiles across the width of the available screen, and also an isBC property, which basically tells us if it is working, if it is animating, or if it is switching the position of a tile. Let's create a method set up puzzle, and the code for this is a basic couple of for loops where we can add each of the tiles. As you can see, I'm getting the location or the full name of each picture, Christmas puzzle, which is my project name, images, the folder, picture, the name of each element, and of course all the row and column using this for two loops, and the GPG extension. Then we are going to create an instance of tile with the puzzle tile that we created before, and we add a tap gesture recognizer. Later we will create a command, a function on tile tapped. So for the moment we have error, but we will fix it, of course. And each of the tiles will respond to a gesture action, to a tap. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. Something will happen when the user taps on a tile. And we add each of these tiles in the layout. Now we can call this method on the constructor of this page, setup puzzle. Next up, we have the code for content view size change. The code here basically detects if the user rotates the phone or the device. If so, we are going to change the orientation of the stack layout and rearrange every tile that we have drawn in this absolute layout. So basically, we are detecting changes in the rotation of the device. Now we can add the code. What happens when the user taps on a tile? We have a method on tile tapped, which I'm going to add right now. And we are going to set the isBC property, so it doesn't accept any other change or any other tap. We check if it is busy, we don't do anything, we just exit the function, and we will pass the tap that we have just tapped to a shift into empty method. We are going to add the code in a second. We need to know the row and column to switch if there is the black tile. And we can also check winner, because every time that the user taps on a tile, maybe the puzzle is solved, so we need to check it. Next up, let's add the shift into empty code. In this case, we checked if the tapped row is an empty row, and also the same goes for the column, because we might have a square that is available or empty. If so, we are going to switch the empty tile with the tile that we have just tapped. We also have a method animate tile, so we can see the transition of this change. And the code for this goes as follows. Animate tile, we get the row and column, and we use this tile array to assign the animate tile and perform the switch. Finally, we have the check winner method, which basically it's just checking all the tiles if tag is correct. If you remember, we set a tag to determine the right position. At the beginning, the tile is solved, the puzzle is solved. So we are going to check if the current row and column is equal to the assigned tile tag to the tile. But beware, because there is a tile which is null, which is null, which is the latest one. So if the row and column is not the same as the tag, then the is winner is false here. And no need to compare the rest. But if it never enters into this if statement, we have a winner. There is also a randomize button clicked method. So when the user clicks or taps on this button, we are going to randomize all the tiles. I will use 100. And actually, that's all of our code. So let's see how this works. In the randomize button click, we perform 100 iterations. We calculate a random value and move all the pieces. You will see in a second. So this is the puzzle. This is the empty tile that I mentioned. And if we click on randomize, you see this nice animation. It is setting up the puzzle. And after it finishes, we can start trying to solve it. Of course, this might be a bit hard. So I will delete this part and change it to only one, so we can see what happens when everything is solved. A message will be displayed. So if I click on randomize, yes, so we can do this, and the puzzle is solved. So have fun developing this application, show it to your friends, and try to solve it. Thank you a lot for your time, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the festive tech calendar. Thanks a lot to Gregor and Richard for the opportunity to be part of this great event. See you next time.